Hey guys, I tried to do this before, but apparently my microphone wasn't turned on, so hopefully it's turned on now, and hopefully I'm not bothering you guys with the noise I'm making. Yeah, I did a new video, and during that video, on my right side of the computer, there was an orb in the corner at the top. And it was like whirling around like this and it was on. And I looked around earlier and there was no bug. We didn't have a bug. And it's winter and most of the bugs that come into the house are in the summer and most of them are hibernating. So I don't know what that was about. And then there was an orb before that went from behind me up. Yeah. And the picture is a little bit different, and it's because I got a new computer replacement and a video camera. So now, wherever my mom and I go to ghost hunting, I can actually film this time, if they allow it. So, let's continue our San Francisco. I was about to say San Francisco. Let's continue our Savannah tour. And speaking of Savannah, I'm not putting it in anywhere right now. It's actually right up in the air. But there is a small chance we might be going to Savannah in the summer. Brand new place, brand new hauntings, and I'm really excited. Today, the Olde house is one of the Savannah's many taverns. But for 300 years, the Bright Peak Mansion was known for the Hammerson House. Standing on Emerson Street, right on Reynolds Square, the house was built by the influential Hammerson Ham family around 1771. The building has been through quite a few hands and has lived through some of Savannah's worst times. The Hammerson Ham house was drawn through a massive fire in 1796. While over 200 other buildings were destroyed, the house also survived the war and was saved by occupying fortress White. James Williams, a leading professional reconstructionist in Savannah, helped restore the building in the 1960s. Williams had brought the house back to life, but that didn't stop a haunted aura of cats taking over the building. Several owners of the house kept slain, many of whom were children. It was common for the children to contract yellow fever and die during childhood. The spirits of the slain children still live in the house, and portions of the bar have caught glimpses of their apparitions playing in the basement. They've been known to knock down cutlery and lock the bathroom doors. One bartender, in particular, claims to have had a constant issue with wine bottles jumping out of their cubbies and onto the floor. The ghost of James Hammerson Jr. also resides in the house, and is generally seen during the colder months. He tends to be pretty friendly, and most have encountered him at some point. Mrs. Hammerson Ham is said to be in the house as well. Unlike her husband, he is pretty mean and often hisses at customers when they toss on breakfast in the restaurant. James Hammerson Ham was one of the Savannah's earliest settlers and among the wealthiest men in Georgia at the time. A fierce British loyalist, he was behind the push to ban slavery in Georgia, despite being a cotton factor who benefited from it. In fact, Hammerson Ham was one of the pioneers of Georgia's cotton industry, and was one of the first men to send horse-grown cotton back to England. British would later become the single largest consumer of American cotton. Hamilton Ham has 3 sons. Unlike their father, they have sanctuary, sorcery, anti-British, and Angler Hamilton Ham Sr. They all did their part to fight back against the British, essentially joining the Sons of Liberty, a pro-colonial separate movement. The eldest brother, James Jr., opted not to fight directly. Instead, he used his financial connections to fund the Americans during the Revolutionary War. Joseph was the middle brother and arguably the biggest risk taker. Joseph and a group of other men arrested Governor James White, and his mansion on Palisade Square. He then joined the military to aid in the fight after John, the youngest brother. After the war, James went on to become the Speaker of the General Assembly in Georgia. Then helped to establish the University of Georgia in 1785. James Hamilton Ham had the house built in 1771, but due to the outbreak of the Revolutionary War, the construction had to be delayed. The British occupied the home, fueling the young Hamilton Ham children eight against the British. The house wasn't officially completed until 1789. Just 10 years later, James Hamilton Ham died in the house, leaving the home to his eldest son, James Hamilton Ham Jr. Several of the Hamilton slaves also died in the home, many of whom were children. They often fell victim to yellow fever, which went through the city multiple times. Slaves were usually kept in the basement when they weren't being forced to work. Being made of brick, the Hamilton Ham home survived the Savannah fire of 1796, while over 200 other buildings in the city burned to the ground. The buildings were construction saved it from suffering the fate of Savannah's mostly wooden home structure. In 1812, the building became a branch of Bankers Street, the first in Georgia. During the Civil War, the house fell under siege once again. Union troops used the home as a barricade when they occupied the city in 1864. Surprisingly, the troops caused minimal damage to the home. After the Civil War, the Hamilton Ham house went through several different owners. It served as an attorney office, bookstore, and a tea house. Strangely enough, the bright pink color of the Hamilton house was an accident. The Hamilton Ham originally intended the house to be white. The house was built with red brick, were overlaid with white plaster. The rain, heat, and humidity caused the brick to bleed through the paint, making the house a pinkish color. They were forced to continually repaint the house white to restore the intended color, but their efforts were futile. The color consistently bled through. Finally, in 1920, one of the later owners decided to permanently paint the house pink, settling the matter once and for all. Jim Williams bought and restored the house in the 50s and early 60s. The house was then further restored by another restoration team in 1970, intending to open the restaurant. The Old Pink House Restaurant and Tavern opened to the public in 1971. The establishment remains of one of the highly rated restaurants in Savannah today. The Ham home, now the Old Pink House, is chock full of spirit. But with over 3 centuries of history, how could it not be? James Ham died in the house and killed in several of the flames. Also, many of the workers and servants of the building, various functions, have stuck around for the long run. The tight, dimly lit spaces in the building have worked to find the perfect backdrop for the haunting. Very few guests escaped unscratched. The basement served as the wine cellar of the Old Pink House. This is where many slaves were kept. The spirits of the enslaved children who died of yellow fever can still occasionally be seen in the basement. They tend to be quite playful and a bit mischievous. Some have seen groups of children running around out of the corner of their eye. The children had a long running gag with one of the barman and her, who complained that the bottles of wine would pop out of their tummies and fall to the floor, shattering upon impact. They claim that the spirits were the recurring problem, as there is no possible way for the wine to rub off the shelf by itself. The children are also known to play pranks on toddlers who use the basement bathroom, locking the stalls and the bathroom door while guests are still inside. Now, if I ever use the bathroom down there, I don't know if I want to be alone. I mean, yeah, I love the paranormal and all that stuff, but if something knocks the door on me, no. It goes from James Ham Sr. also resigned to the Old Pink House. Ham died in the house in 1799, and his spirit never left. While the official story is that he died of natural causes, some say he committed suicide after learning of his wife's infidelity. The story was said to be a cover-up to protect his reputation, as those who commit suicide can't be buried on church ground. Ham, is generally a friendly spirit, often seen around the restaurant, but mostly staying out of the way. Most of the staff encounter his spirit at some point. Sometimes he orders drinks from the bar, but disappears before he has a chance to drink them. Mrs. Ham lives in the Old Pink House as well, though she's much less friendly than her husband. She appreciates her personal space and is known to hiss at people who encroach on her territory. God forbid a guest encounters her in the ladies' room. She has been known to loudly yell at women who enter the restroom while she's there, taking the doors while screaming, "Get out!" in an effort to scare them away. The spirit of a young woman has been seen on the second floor. She is heard sobbing late at night after the restaurant clears out. Nobody knows who she is, but many suspect she may be a slave or servant who worked in the Ham house at some point. Some have seen swirls of energy on the second floor as well. Whether or not the two phenomena are related is unknown. Savannah is one of the oldest cities of the East Coast, along with New Orleans and St. Augustine. Approximately, all three cities are known for their haunts. Many of the haunted houses around Savannah have been around for over 200 years. Savannah. If I'm right and we do know, maybe, I will be extremely happy. I really hope that was either my hair or the hair. And I'm extremely excited as well. But if we don't go this summer, that's fine. I don't know a lot of the places of Savannah until I do research for them, obviously. But one of the places I would like to go and see is the Bonaventure Cemetery, which will probably be on this channel sooner or later. Anyway, thank you for watching my channel and video. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I am Hauntings, and this is my channel. Until next time, pleasant time.